When they say the NBA has gotten softer today, they're right. There's no exaggeration. The NBA in the 70s and 90s was straight up brutal. We got players literally charging on rivals, choking opponents, and punching them with an intent to hurt.
But he was a dirty bastard.
One NBA star even almost died after eating a punch from another player. And it's not just role players who were doing the dirty work, it's the stars. Here are the NBA legend's most heated moments. When thinking about the fiercest NBA legend, who comes to mind? Dennis Rodman? Bill Laimbeer? Gary Payton? Well, one that might not be on your list is the Dream, Hakeem Olajuwon. You never mess with the Dream, as the two-time champ and Hall of Famer was always swinging. There's this one time that he needed to be choked out and jumped by the entire Lakers bench just to stop him.
Level, looks like he's shooting left. There's a fight. Olajuwon and Kupchak. Now Lucas.
And not just that, Hakeem has an entire highlight reel of his brawl.
They're pushing and shoving there, and now they get in their face, and McDyess clearly. There's the first punch.
There he goes. He just goes across, hits him on the arms, and now he pulls away, didn't do anything, and Hakeem just knocks him aside because he was upset with the foul. And cooler heads do prevail.
Now, this next one might not strike you as the type of guy who would resort to punches, but he definitely will. One of the greatest point guards this league has seen is John Stockton.
We played Utah 2 years in a row, 6 games, so 12 games against John Stockton. And I have the greatest respect for him. I see him away from the court, love him, great guy, but he was a dirty bastard.
Well, he sure is, and he won't let anybody disrespect him, even if it's the Worm, Dennis Rodman.
Throw by Isaiah, right side, he'll go right to left. His pass gets away. Here's a fight as Rodman wants to go after Stockton.
He's not afraid to stand his ground against bigger opponents, way bigger, like the Admiral, David Robinson.
4 points. Boy, I tell you what, we're going nuts down there. Stockton and David Robinson getting tangled up, and here we go. Well, Dennis Rodman just got fined for coming off the bench.
He just shoved the 250-pound Robinson like he was nothing. The Jazz and the Spurs really had a heated rivalry back then. Well, talking about rivalries, there are 2 teams that have had the longest standing rivalry in the history of the league, the Lakers and the Celtics. Those yellow and green colors were really clashing back then, especially in the 80s. Who could have forgotten about the nasty brawl between Kevin McHale and Kurt Rambis? McHale just threw a clothesline into Rambis. That would be a 60-day suspension in the league today.
Rambis. And now let's watch it. Cooper and the Celtics, and now the bench is empty.
The Boston Celtics were infamous back in the 80s, and it's all thanks to one man, Larry Bird. The league has been underestimating Bird since then because of his laid-back demeanor and appearance. But little did they know, he's one of the nastiest players to ever step foot on the hardwood. How about this one time when he wrestled almost the entire team? Let's go with the more infamous one. The time he ate punches from Julius Erving, stood his ground, and got choked by the entire Sixers team.
Here's Moses. Wait a minute.
That's Barkley.
Oh, there is.
Yeah, and look at
Jay hitting Bird as he's being held from behind by Barkley and Moses Malone. Nice going, guys.
Yeah, nice shots, guys.
He just ate those punches. These legends were ferocious. This video won't be complete if we don't include 2 of the fiercest competitors in the history of the NBA, Reggie Miller and Michael Jordan. Back in the 1992-1993 season, these 2 went at it, and neither of them was willing to let go. Little did Reggie know, he was about to see more of Michael Jordan for the next decade. Well, Reggie was a fierce competitor. He has no fear. He even had beef with an entire city and with Spike Lee with the iconic choke sign.
Giving the choke sign to Spike Lee.
Starks was so fed up with Miller that he had no choice but to retaliate. The New York Knicks were one of the most loved teams in the 1990s. They were always so close to winning that elusive ring. Knicks' physicality and grit were the name of their game back then, with its anchor, Hall of Famer Patrick Ewing. Ewing was fearless, just like this one time when he squared up against Detlef Schrempf and was fined by the NBA for this. he was also ready to throw it down against Dennis Rodman.
Well, here's the banging as Dennis Rodman put the elbow and arm out, which knocked Patrick Ewing down. But Patrick very careful when he came back up to get in the face of Dennis Rodman that he kept his arms down.
Dennis Rodman can make an entire video of him punching and wrestling his opponents to the ground. He's not scared. He's pissing off everybody, including the 7'7" giant, George Murisan.
Easy, and they have to separate the two. Rodman got Murisan in the back, and Murisan fought back.
He probably has personal issues with this guy because he just keeps on annoying him every time he has a chance. You don't want to face a guy like that. And you know who's another player that you don't want to face? Kobe Bean Bryant. Kobe was a trash talker, and he wasn't easily fazed. Remember that one time Matt Barnes fake passed him in the face?
And he fakes the ball.
And that was not the craziest thing he did. There's this one time that he got punched in the face twice and just stood his ground. Oh boy, they were throwing punches. A boxing fight at Staples. But we all know that his partner, the Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal, was the troublemaker. He might be friends with the Chuckster Charles Barkley in Inside the NBA on TNT, but back then, they were mortal enemies as these two giants clashed in an all-out brawl.
Whack. Had he taken the punch?
The players tried so hard to pull them apart. Shaq was always in the middle of a massive brawl. Just look at what he did to Brad Miller.
Watch this, Brad ties him up there and then Oakley over the top, and I think Shaq thought that was Miller perhaps. Yeah. And watch this, he's got the fist, he swings it. Boy, he's going to be gone for a long time. Wow, unbelievable.
No one messes with the Diesel. He's trying to kill that man. Well, this next one literally escapes death. He may not be a legendary player, but he was certainly a legendary coach. The brains behind the championship seasons of the Houston Rockets, Rudy Tomjanovich. In December 1977, LA's Kermit Washington and Houston's Kevin Cooner were involved in a scuffle. Rockets captain Tomjanovich rushed to aid his teammate, but when Washington saw Rudy in his peripheral vision, he stopped, turned, and punched Rudy square in the face. The blow was nearly fatal. Tomjanovich was hurried to an emergency room where he was told he might not survive. The total damage done included a fractured skull, broken jaw, broken nose, other facial injuries, and leakage of spinal fluid. Absolutely terrifying. The Rockets were lucky that Rudy survived that and still coached the Rockets during the golden days of Clutch City. Now it's your time to share your thoughts. Who do you think is the fiercest NBA legend of all time? Share your comments down below. And as always, thank you for watching.